Hey, this is Max, student of PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and today is Tuesday, June 2nd, and this is going to be the chart lesson for today. Today was a range day, as you can see here. I ended up tightening up the overnight lows, as you can see down here. Um, really kind of bounced here in the middle, and so that's where I used my support at. So yeah, so we broke out the top, failed, tested this midline area here, failed, went back up to the top, failed, failed out the bottom, and then couldn't get back to the bottom, and finally, broke out higher. And the way you trade into a trend is more than likely the way you're going to come out. So we traded up into this trend, and we eventually, the bias was up, and we came out of the trend. Also, take notice of this measured move here. So you see this trend I have here. Um, there you go. That was leg one, and then it broke this trend line and had two legs of correction. And if you measure that leg and put it over here at the end of the correction, I mean basically to the tick. So that was a great target for the day. All right, let's get into the trades. There weren't that many today. There was a lot of green arrows, a lot of kind of sketchy trades, so we'll talk about them, and you can be the judge of my signal bars. And yeah, 5 o'clock came right around here, and right out the gate, I had this trend line originally where this midline was, a little up like that, but when it shot right past it, I figured it might be a trend line or a midline. And so we got new low here, first entry, pull back, second entry. That's a good trade, part of the rules. And so we're going down even further. Um, right here, you can kind of treat this as like a failed second entry short if you wanted to. This is a double top, new high, first entry, pullback, second entry fails at the EMA. You have room to the lows barely, and so that's why I marked it green. It's a little suspect, but you might take that trade. It's pretty aggressive. You know what's really going on, and you know that right at the open, people are looking at the bounce here, and it gets rejected because they're trapped. Take that trade. Goes and bounces right here, and you have the close outside, a couple legs down to a new low, and then we bounce. And here's your new low. First entry, pull back, and this here is marked green as well because you kind of got congestion here, and this is the kind of congestion that's biased to the downside. So this is really a second entry when it breaks below this. Let's see if I can make it bigger. When it breaks, it seems like I'm not making it bigger. Okay. So new low, first entry, and then this is an inside bar to this green one, but you kind of have congestion the wrong way. So you got 1, 2, 3 bars stacked up. They tried to break out into the EMA, and so I kind of like this trade here as a second entry. You already did have a close outside and a new low, and you did bounce right here, and this is an inside bar, so it's kind of either a green arrow for the second entry or just got to let it go. You get a lower high here, but unfortunately that's another inside bar, and by that time it's really congestion, and your lows are here. You don't want to trade into that. So I just wanted to talk about it as an interesting trade. The better trade is here when you get a bounce and a double test of the support line. And if you notice new high here, first entry, you're pulling back. Second entry, great bullish bar, far away from the EMA. A lot of reasons to go along there. This trend line here had played out, and that's our first great trade of the day. And so, yeah, we're coming along, and then you get a break outside of this short-term trend line. It pulls back, and New highs, first entry, pulling back, second entry, fairly bullish bar at the key entry point if you drag it off the top side, and that's a good trade as well. It's right at the EMA. You're looking for a retest of this short-term trend, and that works out pretty good as well. That was a great trade. Okay, so if you notice, we failed out the top. We found support at the bottom. Now we're coming up to the top again. It rejects. This is a trading range day, so now you're looking for trades with the downside. Unfortunately, you don't really get a setup. I mean, this is kind of a second entry. It's an inside bar. It's just a little congestive. I'm not crazy about it. So we get a break and we get a new low, and we get people who bounce just a little too early here at the key entry point. That's a huge bar. That's actually not a bad trade either. You are looking for prices to possibly make a measured leg down from here. So there's your first leg and here's your second leg. So that might be a reason why you're looking to take more shorts. And so when this long here shoots up to the EMA, can't get there, rejects and closes on its low, I like that to go lower. Just to catch possibly this measured leg down here, which is the first leg. So you can see that. There's your leg one. And then you're looking for that full target there of leg two. That's if you're playing the bias. I could definitely see someone going for this trade that bounces on the support line as well. I didn't mark it, but I assume you could argue for that if you're playing the range rules. So we'll go ahead and mark that as well. Okay, so yeah, we fell out the bottom. You don't really get a chance here to get back into the range, and so I don't really see a trade here at all. You got this little short-term trend line, a close. You got a new high there, but you really got one, two legs up to a new high, and then you got one, two legs of correction. If you grab this off the top and dragged it down, it fits fairly neatly here. Maybe someone had a better signal bar that made the trend look more clear, but that's a second entry long after two legs of correction. It's probably the center of the pattern. That's a great trade. This is kind of a reversal pattern. So at this point, there might have been people who were thinking that there was a short-term trend, a long-term downtrend, kind of like that. Didn't really end up playing out, but it's definitely looking like it might be valid. But even if that's the case, you just tested the low of it, so more than likely you're going up to the highs, to the trend line. So that's why I like taking this long in this trend to get back up there. So two legs back, you're in this trend. It's not quite confirmed yet, but more than likely we're gonna make a second leg up similar to this leg. And so yeah, reversal pattern though. So if you notice, you have two legs down, and then you shoot through the EMA with pretty much no hesitation. You check up on it from the other side, which is what you like to see. You get a first entry short, pulling back, and you get a second entry short. If that fails, you're probably going a lot higher. It is into resistance, as you can see right here. So it's not perfect trade, but if you know the context and you're pretty confident we're going to be going higher, you got people trapped here, and based on a measured leg of that first leg, let's see, we're more than likely going to at least right there. And so runs up, gets to the trend line, tries one more time, gets to the midline and fails, and shoots right through. That is a nice reversal pattern, but unfortunately it's not really a trade to take. You do have a second entry long here, and it is at the support line that I marked. You see that? It drags over. Um, New high, first entry, pull back, second entry. Only if you knew to get long one tick above this little tiny bar here, then maybe I'd say that's a good trade. It's really aggressive though. That pretty much wrapped up the day. It was nice. There was a measured leg up, like I talked about. You got this first leg here, then you got a little trend line here, close outside, couple legs to a new low, and it shoots up. That was a huge move. 30, 3,057 to 3,078. It's about 20 points. Unfortunately, I mean, I don't really. Oh, I didn't mark it because it's past 12 anyway. So yeah, that was the day. So it was a trading range. We traded up into this trading range, so more than likely we're gonna trade outside to the upside, and that's what we did. We failed out the top. We tested the bottom. We tested the top. We failed out the bottom. We tested the top, but we couldn't get back down below this area here, and it just rallied. And it even got back into that trend line that we had drawn at 8:14 in the morning. Got right back in there. Look at that. So yeah, that was the day. It was definitely a trading range day. There's a lot of questionable setups, but there was some good stuff in there as well. All right, hope you had a good day. Hope this is a good chart lesson, and we'll catch you next time.